and said that he secretly hoped William would struggle so he would pick up the phone and call him back and ask him for help.
For years, many royal watchers believed that if reconciliation ever came to the fractured relationship between Prince Harry and Prince William, the bridge would almost certainly be Catherine, Princess of Wales. Yet something appears to have changed, and according to recent reports, the woman once seen as the family's most patient peacemaker is no longer willing to carry a burden that was never hers to bear. What happened behind the scenes, and why are so many observers now saying that Prince Harry may have finally run out of road? Let's begin with the request that has left even longtime royal commentators stunned. For a long time, the public conversation surrounding the ongoing rift between Prince Harry and Prince William focused on one central question. When would the brothers finally sit down together and begin repairing the damage that has accumulated over years of public interviews, best-selling memoirs, media projects, and increasingly visible distance between two men who were once considered inseparable? However, a different question has now emerged, and many royal observers believe it may be far more important than anything discussed before. What happens when the one person still believed to be capable of opening the door simply decides not to? According to recent reports discussed by royal commentators, Prince Harry has been attempting to find pathways back into communication with Prince William. Yet rather than approaching the future king directly, claims have surfaced suggesting that attention has turned toward Catherine, Princess of Wales, as a potential intermediary. The idea itself has generated considerable discussion because it places Catherine in a position many believe she has occupied for years: the role of emotional bridge builder within an increasingly fractured family. But here is where the story becomes significantly more complicated. Many viewers may remember that Catherine, Princess of Wales, was often portrayed as one of the few senior members of the royal family who maintained hope that some form of reconciliation could eventually occur. While public tensions escalated, while headlines became increasingly dramatic, and while relationships appeared to deteriorate behind palace walls, Catherine was frequently described by commentators as someone who understood the value of family bonds, particularly where children and future generations were concerned. That reputation did not emerge overnight. It developed through years of observing how Catherine approached public life, royal duties, and personal relationships. Unlike many figures who become involved in high-profile disputes, Catherine consistently projected stability, patience, and restraint. Even during periods when speculation dominated headlines, Catherine rarely entered public arguments and almost never responded directly to criticism. And perhaps that is precisely why so many people assume that if Prince Harry ever wanted a route back toward Prince William, Catherine would eventually help make that happen. But should she? That question has become increasingly difficult for royal observers to answer. After all, when people discuss reconciliation, they often focus on what Prince Harry may have lost or what Prince William may still feel. Far less attention is paid to what Catherine herself has experienced throughout this long and painful chapter of royal history. Think about that for a moment. How many times has Catherine, Princess of Wales, been expected to absorb tension created by others? How many times has Catherine been expected to remain patient while criticism circulated, while private matters became public, and while stories involving the royal family dominated international headlines? And perhaps most importantly, how many times can one person be asked to carry responsibility for repairing relationships they did not break? Those questions are now sitting at the center of the conversation. According to commentators discussing recent developments, what appears to have changed is not Catherine's ability to help. It is Catherine's willingness to continue doing so. That distinction may sound subtle, but in reality it changes everything. Because there is a significant difference between someone being unable to act and someone consciously deciding that enough is enough. The timing of this shift is particularly fascinating. Over the past year, both Catherine, Princess of Wales, and King Charles III have faced serious health challenges that transformed public discussion surrounding the monarchy. Suddenly, questions about duty, family, legacy, and personal priorities became more important than ever before. For many observers, those difficult circumstances appeared to sharpen perspectives throughout the royal family. What truly matters? What deserves energy? Which relationships remain worth fighting for? And where should boundaries finally be drawn? Those are not merely royal questions. They are human questions, which may explain why the story has resonated so strongly with audiences across the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and beyond. Yet another development has made the situation even more striking. Reports suggest that one particular public comment involving King Charles III may have become a turning point for Catherine. Not because the remark directly targeted Catherine herself, but because it allegedly revealed something deeper about the direction of family relationships and the manner in which private matters were continuing to play out in public. If that interpretation is correct, then this was never simply about one disagreement, one interview, or one controversial moment. Instead, it may have been about accumulation. Years of accumulation. Years of disappointment. Years of expectations. Years of opportunities that came and went. And when viewed through that lens, the silence now being interpreted by many commentators takes on an entirely different meaning. Because silence is not always uncertainty. Sometimes silence is a decision. Sometimes silence is a boundary. And sometimes silence says more than any statement ever could. So if Catherine, Princess of Wales, has truly stepped away from the role of peacemaker, then an even bigger question immediately emerges. Without Catherine standing in the middle, who exactly is left capable of bringing Prince William and Prince Harry back together? That question leads directly into the next chapter of the story, because the answer may reveal far more about the future of the monarchy than most people realize. Before we continue, if you enjoy thoughtful royal family analysis that looks beyond the headlines and explores the deeper dynamics shaping the monarchy, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss future updates. Because what happened next did not focus on Catherine at all. Instead, attention shifted toward Prince William himself, and what sources are now saying about a position that appears firmer than ever before. If Catherine, Princess of Wales, has stepped away from the role of mediator, then attention naturally turns toward the one person at the center of this entire story, Prince William, the future king. And this is where many royal observers believe the situation becomes even more difficult for Prince Harry. Because according to commentators who continue to follow developments inside the royal family, the question is no longer whether Prince William is angry. The question is whether Prince William has already moved beyond anger entirely and entered something much more permanent. Think about that distinction for a moment. Anger can cool with time. Frustration can soften with distance. Even serious disagreements sometimes fade when years pass and circumstances change. But what happens when someone reaches a point where the decision itself feels settled? That is the possibility now being discussed by many royal analysts. For years, public attention focused heavily on Prince Harry's perspective. Interviews, documentaries, podcasts, and memoirs created a constant stream of discussion about why Prince Harry felt disappointed, misunderstood, or isolated from the institution he left behind. Yet while millions of people were examining Prince Harry's feelings, another story was quietly developing inside Kensington Palace. The story of Prince William. The story of a future king who was simultaneously managing royal responsibilities, supporting Catherine, Princess of Wales, raising Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, and preparing for a future that carries enormous constitutional responsibility. When viewed through that lens, some royal watchers argue that Prince William's perspective looks very different from the version often presented in headlines. Because from Prince William's point of view, the issue may not simply be criticism. The issue may be trust. And trust, once broken repeatedly, becomes extraordinarily difficult to rebuild. After all, how many private conversations became public stories? How many family disagreements became global headlines? How many personal moments became material for interviews, documentaries, and best-selling books? Those questions continue to linger over every discussion involving Prince William and Prince Harry. And perhaps that explains why reports suggesting Prince William no longer wishes to engage have attracted so much attention. But there is another layer to the story that deserves careful examination. According to royal commentators, Prince William's position appears deeply connected to Catherine, Princess of Wales. While many discussions focus on institutional concerns, constitutional issues, or royal protocol, sources frequently point towards something much more personal. Protection. Not protection of the monarchy. Protection of family. Protection of Catherine, Princess of Wales. Protection of Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. For many viewers, that detail changes the emotional center of the story entirely. Because suddenly this stops looking like a disagreement between two brothers. Instead, it begins to resemble a future king drawing boundaries around the people Prince William considers most important. And if that interpretation is correct, then the challenge facing Prince Harry becomes significantly larger than many initially realized. Why? Because institutional disagreements can sometimes be negotiated. Family protection is much harder to negotiate. Would any parent willingly expose children to circumstances believed to create instability? Would any husband willingly invite conflict into a household after watching a spouse endure one of the most difficult periods of life? Those are questions viewers must consider carefully before reaching conclusions. What makes the situation even more fascinating is that several commentators have described Prince William as becoming increasingly independent in recent years. Not independent from duty, not independent from the monarchy, independent in judgment. The image emerging from recent reports is of a Prince William who no longer relies heavily on outside persuasion once a conclusion has been reached. And if that assessment is accurate, then an uncomfortable possibility emerges. What if Catherine, Princess of Wales, could not change Prince William's position even if Catherine wanted to? That question rarely receives enough attention. Many discussions assume Catherine remains the key to reconciliation, but what if Prince William has already moved beyond the point where mediation matters? What if Prince William has already accepted that the relationship with Prince Harry may never return to what it once was? Suddenly, the entire conversation changes, because reconciliation requires two people moving toward each other, not one. And this is precisely why recent reports have generated such intense discussion among royal audiences. The assumption for years was that time would eventually heal the divide. The assumption was that family milestones, health concerns, changing circumstances, or advancing age would naturally bring everyone back together. Yet what if the opposite has happened? What if time has not softened positions? What if time has reinforced them? That possibility appears to concern many royal commentators far more than any single headline. Because every passing year creates new realities. Prince George grows older. Princess Charlotte grows older. Prince Louis grows older. Prince William's role within the monarchy grows larger. King Charles III continues navigating health challenges. And the future shape of the royal family becomes increasingly visible. Meanwhile, the distance remains. The silence remains. The unanswered questions remain. So perhaps the most important question viewers should consider is not whether Prince William misses Prince Harry. The more significant question may be this: has Prince William already accepted a future in which Prince Harry simply no longer plays a meaningful role inside the royal family? Because if that answer is yes, then another development suddenly becomes impossible to ignore. While Prince William has been focused on preparing the next generation of the monarchy, reports suggest Prince Harry may have been watching another royal figure rise into public view. And that figure is not Prince William at all. It is Prince George. And what some royal biographers are now saying about Prince Harry's long-standing concerns regarding Prince George introduces an entirely new dimension to the story. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this deep dive analysis of the royal family, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince William, King Charles III, and the future of the monarchy, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss future discussions. Because the next chapter is not really about the past. It is about the future, and specifically, why the growing presence of Prince George may reveal more about Prince Harry's situation than anything happening inside Buckingham Palace today. The moment many people focused on Prince William, another story was quietly developing in the background. And according to several royal commentators, it may explain far more about Prince Harry's current situation than any palace disagreement ever could. Because this story is not really about Prince William. This story is about Prince George. And once Prince George enters the picture, the entire conversation begins to look very different. For years, royal observers understood that Prince William, the future king, was preparing Prince George for a life unlike that of almost any other child in the world. Prince George was never simply another member of the royal family. From the moment Prince George was born, Prince George became part of the direct future of the monarchy itself. That reality has only become more visible with time. Today, Prince George appears increasingly comfortable during public appearances. Whether standing alongside Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, or King Charles III, Prince George projects a level of composure that continually attracts public attention. Every appearance generates headlines. Every photograph sparks discussion. Every new public moment creates fresh interest across Britain, the United States, Canada, and beyond. But why does this matter so much to the story surrounding Prince Harry? Because according to royal biographers, concerns surrounding Prince George are not new at all. In fact, some commentators argue that Prince Harry has been thinking about this reality for far longer than most people realize. Years ago, Prince Harry reportedly spoke about feeling that there was only a limited period during which public attention would naturally focus on Prince Harry before Prince George became the center of future royal interest. At the time, many people viewed those remarks as understandable reflections from someone aware of how succession works within the monarchy. After all, every royal generation eventually passes the spotlight forward. Yet looking back today, those comments are being examined in a very different light. Because Prince George is no longer a toddler. Prince George is growing into the next phase of royal life. And with every passing year, Prince George moves closer to becoming one of the defining figures of the monarchy's future. That reality creates an uncomfortable question. Did Prince Harry spend the past decade building a lasting legacy, or fighting battles that prevented Prince Harry from creating one? Take a moment and consider how different the public conversation could have been. Prince Harry possessed enormous goodwill. Prince Harry possessed global recognition. Prince Harry possessed charitable credibility through military service and veteran advocacy. Prince Harry possessed opportunities that most public figures can only dream about. Many royal watchers believed Prince Harry had the potential to create a powerful independent role that complemented the monarchy, while also allowing Prince Harry to establish a unique identity. Instead, much of the public discussion became dominated by family conflict. Interviews, disputes, responses, books, documentaries, public disagreements. And while those moments generated attention and legacy are not necessarily the same thing. That distinction may be one of the most important themes running through this entire story. Because attention fades, legacy remains. Meanwhile, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, have continued focusing on something entirely different. The future. Prince George represents that future. Princess Charlotte represents that future. Prince Louis represents that future. Every public appearance involving Prince George reinforces a simple reality that cannot be ignored. The monarchy continues moving forward, whether reconciliation happens or not, whether disagreements are resolved or not, whether old conflicts disappear or not. The institution keeps advancing toward its next generation. And perhaps that is what makes Prince George's growing visibility so significant. Prince George does not need to criticize anyone. Prince George does not need to respond to anyone. Prince George simply needs to exist within the line of succession. The symbolism speaks for itself. But there is another layer to this story that deserves closer attention. Several commentators have noted that Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, appear increasingly focused on protecting the environment in which Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis are being raised. That focus naturally influences decisions regarding relationships, boundaries, and future access. From that perspective, the discussion is no longer merely about repairing a relationship between Prince William and Prince Harry. The discussion becomes about shaping the next generation. And if Prince William views every major decision through that lens, then many recent developments begin making much more sense. Ask yourself this question. If Prince William believes the future of the monarchy depends heavily on Prince George's preparation, would Prince William take any risks that might complicate that process? Many royal observers believe the answer is obvious, which brings us to another fascinating development that has received increasing attention among commentators. Because while Prince George's rise has become increasingly visible, reports suggest that Prince Harry's wider position within royal circles may also be changing in ways that extend far beyond Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Family events, social relationships, long-standing connections, royal networks. Several recent developments have led observers to ask whether the distance surrounding Prince Harry is now extending into areas that once seemed unaffected by the royal dispute. And if that is happening, the implications could be much larger than many initially imagined. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this deep dive analysis of Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince George, King Charles III, Prince Harry, and the future of the royal family. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because the next part of the story moves beyond the immediate family and into the wider royal circle. And what has reportedly been happening there may reveal just how dramatically the landscape has changed behind palace walls. The deeper the story goes, the more it begins to look less like a disagreement between brothers and more like a gradual reshaping of an entire royal landscape. Because while much of the public conversation continues to focus on Prince Harry, Prince William, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, another development has quietly emerged that may be just as significant. The wider royal circle appears to be moving on. And if that assessment is correct, then Prince Harry may be facing a challenge far larger than a disagreement with Prince William alone. Think about this carefully. Family disputes are one thing. Social isolation is something entirely different. For years, Prince Harry's supporters argued that time would eventually heal wounds. Many believe that birthdays, anniversaries, family milestones, and major royal events would naturally create opportunities for relationships to recover. After all, history is filled with examples of families overcoming even serious divisions. But what happens when those opportunities begin disappearing one by one? That is the question increasingly being asked by royal commentators. Recent reports surrounding family gatherings and royal social circles have fueled speculation that the distance between Prince Harry and the rest of the royal family may no longer be limited to Prince William. Instead, observers have started noticing something broader, a pattern suggesting that many relationships, once considered stable, are now operating on entirely different terms. And that pattern becomes particularly interesting when viewed through the lens of loyalty. Within royal circles, loyalty carries a unique significance. Unlike traditional celebrity relationships, royal relationships exist inside an institution built on continuity, trust, and long-term stability. People who remain close to the monarchy often do so because they understand the importance of discretion, consistency, and mutual confidence. When trust weakens, consequences can extend far beyond a single disagreement. That reality may explain why certain developments have attracted so much attention. For example, royal commentators have pointed to occasions where Prince Harry's absence from family events generated headlines not because of what happened, but because of what did not happen. Invitations matter, attendance matters, presence matters, and perhaps most importantly, absence matters. Every event attended by Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Princess, or other senior members of the royal family reinforces existing relationships within the institution. Every event missed creates a different kind of message. Now, to be fair, not every absence should be interpreted as a deliberate statement. Families are complicated, schedules are complicated, circumstances vary. Yet when multiple developments begin pointing in the same direction, observers naturally start asking larger questions. Is Prince Harry becoming increasingly disconnected from royal life itself? Or is Prince Harry simply living a different life altogether? That distinction is crucial because the answers lead to very different conclusions. At the same time, another fascinating dynamic has emerged involving public perception. When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, stepped away from royal duties, many people expected a powerful new chapter built around independence, philanthropy, media projects, and global influence. The opportunities appeared enormous. The public interest was undeniable. For a period of time, that momentum seemed unstoppable. Yet several commentators now argue that public curiosity and long-term influence are not the same thing. Curiosity can create headlines. Influence requires sustained achievements. And that is where the conversation becomes increasingly complex. Ask yourself this question. When people discuss Prince William today, what topics dominate the conversation? Future king, leadership, the monarchy, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince George, the next generation. Now ask the same question about Prince Harry. What themes dominate those discussions? For many observers, the answer increasingly revolves around conflict, reconciliation, and relationships that may or may not be repaired. That contrast is impossible to ignore. One narrative focuses on the future. The other remains connected to unresolved chapters from the past. And perhaps that explains why Prince William appears increasingly comfortable moving forward without revisiting every disagreement. Because from Prince William's perspective, the responsibilities ahead are enormous. King Charles III will not reign forever. The transition toward the next era of the monarchy is already underway. Prince William, the future king, is preparing for responsibilities that extend decades into the future. Meanwhile, Catherine, Princess of Wales, continues to occupy a central role in shaping that future alongside Prince William. Viewed from that perspective, reconciliation may no longer be the primary concern inside royal planning discussions. Preparation may be, continuity may be, stability may be, and if those priorities have indeed taken center stage, then Prince Harry faces a difficult reality. The institution may not be waiting, because institutions rarely wait. They adapt, they evolve, they move forward. Yet here is where the story takes another unexpected turn. While Prince William appears focused on the future of the monarchy, reports suggest that King Charles III may still view the situation through a different lens entirely. Not as a future king, but as a father. And that distinction introduces one of the most emotionally complicated questions in the entire story. Because what happens when the priorities of a father and the priorities of a future king are not perfectly aligned? Could King Charles III still hope for some form of reconciliation with Prince Harry? Could Prince William believe that reconciliation creates more risks than benefits? And if those perspectives differ behind palace walls, what does that mean for the future direction of the royal family? Those questions may ultimately determine where the story goes next. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this in-depth analysis of Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the future of the royal family, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss future updates. Because the next chapter moves beyond Prince Harry's relationship with Prince William and into a much bigger question: whether King Charles III and Prince William may see the future of reconciliation in completely different ways, and why that disagreement could shape the monarchy for years to come. The further the story develops, the clearer one reality becomes. The debate surrounding Prince Harry is no longer centered solely on reconciliation. Increasingly, the discussion is shifting toward legacy, and that may be the most significant change of all. Because while headlines often focus on disagreements, interviews, and strained relationships, history tends to ask a different question: what was ultimately built? Years from now, when royal historians look back on this period, they may spend less time discussing individual arguments and far more time examining the paths chosen by the key figures involved. And when viewed from that perspective, the contrast between Prince William, the future king, and Prince Harry appears more striking than ever. Consider where both brothers stand today. Prince William continues preparing for the immense responsibilities that accompany the future crown. Alongside Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince William is focused on raising Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis while supporting King Charles III during a period that has tested the royal family in ways few could have anticipated. At the same time, Prince Harry remains connected to a conversation that repeatedly circles back to the same unresolved question: can the past ever truly be repaired? And here is where many royal observers believe the story becomes particularly revealing. Because every year that passes makes the future more visible. Prince George continues growing into public life. Catherine, Princess of Wales, continues strengthening public support through dignity and resilience. Prince William continues stepping closer toward the role of king. The monarchy continues evolving. The calendar continues moving forward. But what happens when one side is focused on building tomorrow while the other side remains tied to yesterday? That is the question many commentators are now asking. And perhaps it explains why reports suggesting Prince Harry sought indirect routes toward communication generated such intense discussion. Because for many observers, those reports created the impression that Prince Harry understands something fundamental. The window may be closing, not necessarily because anyone announced it, not necessarily because Buckingham Palace issued a statement, not necessarily because Prince William delivered an ultimatum. Instead, the window may be closing because life itself continues moving forward. And life rarely waits. Think about that for a moment. How many opportunities does any family receive before distance becomes the new normal? How many chances exist before silence transforms into routine? How many years pass before people stop expecting reconciliation and simply accept reality? Those questions are uncomfortable, but they sit at the heart of the story. Yet there is another dimension that deserves attention. King Charles III, because throughout this entire discussion, one figure remains uniquely positioned between two competing worlds. On one side stands King Charles III as monarch. On the other side stands King Charles III as father. And those roles do not always point toward identical solutions. Many royal observers believe Prince William approaches the situation primarily through the lens of future stability. Prince William's responsibilities require long-term thinking, institutional planning, and careful protection of the next generation. King Charles III may see additional considerations: family memories, personal history, the natural desire of a father to maintain connections with both sons. That does not automatically mean King Charles III and Prince William disagree, but it does raise fascinating questions about how different generations inside the royal family may view the same situation. Could King Charles III still hope for some form of personal reconciliation? Could Prince William believe certain boundaries should remain permanent? Could both perspectives exist simultaneously? The answers remain largely hidden behind palace walls. And perhaps that uncertainty explains why public fascination continues. Because despite years of headlines, despite countless articles, despite interviews and commentary from every possible angle, nobody outside the family truly knows what conversations may still occur in private. That uncertainty keeps the story alive. But before concluding, there is one final observation worth considering. Throughout this entire saga, one figure repeatedly emerges at the center of discussion, not through statements, not through public criticism, but through silence. And in royal history, silence often carries extraordinary power. So where does that leave Prince Harry? That remains the unanswered question. Perhaps reconciliation remains possible. Perhaps future events will create opportunities nobody currently sees. Perhaps King Charles III, Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, and Prince Harry will eventually discover a path that seems impossible today. Or perhaps the monarchy has already entered a new chapter in which Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis represent the future, while Prince Harry's connection to that future grows increasingly distant. Only time will reveal which interpretation proves correct. But one thing is certain: this story is no longer just about family disagreement. This story is about legacy. This story is about choices. And this story is about what happens when years of decisions finally begin producing consequences that can no longer be ignored. Before we finish, if you have enjoyed this deep analysis of Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the future of the royal family, make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join our growing community of royal watchers who enjoy thoughtful discussion beyond the headlines. And now we would love to hear from you. Do you believe Prince Harry and Prince William will eventually find a way back to each other? Or do you think the divide has simply become too deep after everything that has happened? Do you believe Catherine, Princess of Wales, made the right decision by stepping away from the role of mediator? Princess of Wales made the right decision by stepping away from the role of mediator? Or do you think there is still one final opportunity for reconciliation? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is far from over and the next chapter of the royal family story may be closer than anyone realizes.
The British royals have posed for a new formal photograph. Of course, your eye is drawn to the Duchess of Cambridge, Kate Middleton. You notice there, she's the only splash of color in this picture. But take a close look at her tiara.
At first glance, it looked like another carefully choreographed royal event, the kind of glittering state occasion Buckingham Palace has staged for generations. Yet behind the diamonds, the diplomatic smiles, and the centuries-old traditions, a very different conversation was quietly unfolding. Because while most viewers were focused on who attended, royal watchers were asking a far more intriguing question. Why had one particular piece of royal jewelry suddenly become the center of intense speculation, and what did it reveal about the future direction of the monarchy? To understand why the story captured so much attention, it is important to remember that within the royal family, symbolism often carries just as much weight as words. A speech can be analyzed for days. A public appearance can generate headlines around the world, but sometimes a single photograph becomes the most powerful statement of all. That reality has surrounded Catherine, Princess of Wales, for many years, particularly as Prince William, the future king, continues to move closer toward the responsibilities that will eventually define the next era of the monarchy. When royal observers examine official photographs, state banquets, diplomatic receptions, and major ceremonial events, they are rarely looking only at fashion. Instead, they are searching for signals. They are looking for indications of hierarchy, influence, trust, and institutional support. That is precisely why discussions surrounding royal jewels often generate far more attention than outsiders might expect. These pieces are not merely decorative objects. They are connected to history, continuity, and in some cases, the legacy of monarchs whose influence shaped entire generations. And that brings us directly to Catherine, Princess of Wales. Over the last decade, Catherine has undergone one of the most remarkable transformations in modern royal history. When Kate Middleton first entered royal life, many commentators questioned whether Catherine could successfully adapt to the extraordinary pressures that accompany life inside the monarchy. Every public appearance was scrutinized. Every gesture was interpreted. Every decision was examined through an almost impossible standard. Yet years later, the conversation looks very different. Today, Catherine, Princess of Wales, is frequently viewed as one of the monarchy's most valuable assets. Polling, public engagements, charitable initiatives, and international appearances have consistently reinforced an image of stability, professionalism, and reliability. For many supporters of the royal family, Catherine represents continuity. For others, Catherine represents modernization without abandoning tradition. Either way, Catherine's role has become increasingly significant. But this growing prominence has inevitably created another question. As Catherine's influence rises, what does that mean for other senior figures within the institution? That question has fueled years of speculation among royal commentators, particularly when discussions involve Queen Camilla. Ever since Queen Camilla formally assumed a more prominent position alongside King Charles III, public debate has continued regarding her place within the wider royal narrative. Although Queen Camilla now occupies one of the most important positions in the monarchy, public perceptions have often been shaped by decades of history, controversy, and competing interpretations. As a result, observers frequently analyze even the smallest interactions between Queen Camilla and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Was a particular seating arrangement meaningful? Did a public appearance reveal anything about internal dynamics? Why was one royal position more prominently than another? And perhaps most importantly, who represents the future image of the monarchy? Those questions became especially relevant as preparations reportedly intensified for a major state occasion attended by international dignitaries and watched by audiences around the world. Such events are never casual gatherings. Every detail is planned months in advance. Every guest placement, every ceremonial sequence, and every visual element is reviewed repeatedly because Buckingham Palace understands that international perception matters. For that reason, attention naturally turned toward the jewels expected to appear during the event. Among royal enthusiasts, certain tiaras occupy an almost mythical status. They are associated with iconic moments, historic reigns, and beloved members of the royal family. Whenever one of these pieces appears publicly, discussion immediately follows. Who was chosen to wear it? Why was that particular selection made? And what message, intentional or otherwise, might the choice communicate? According to various reports and widespread speculation circulating among royal commentators, discussions surrounding one particularly significant tiara generated unusual levels of interest behind palace walls. Some observers believe the decision could reflect deeper institutional preferences. Others argue that people were reading far too much into a simple wardrobe selection. Yet the debate continued to grow. And the reason was simple. If Catherine, Princess of Wales, appeared wearing a jewel closely associated with royal continuity and legacy, many would interpret that moment as a visual endorsement of Catherine's future role. Whether fair or unfair, symbolism has always mattered within the monarchy. But another layer of intrigue soon emerged. Reports began circulating that not everyone allegedly viewed the situation through the same lens. Questions surfaced regarding competing expectations, differing priorities, and the enormous pressure created by an event where every camera lens in the world would be focused on the royal family. Suddenly, what began as a discussion about jewelry was becoming a conversation about influence, perception, and the future image of the monarchy itself. And as the date of the state occasion drew closer, palace watchers began noticing something else entirely. The real story might not be about who ultimately wore the tiara. The real story might be about why so many people believed the decision mattered in the first place. Before the evening could even begin, a new development would emerge that transformed palace speculation into something much larger, raising fresh questions about trust, symbolism, and the delicate balance of power inside one of the world's most closely watched institutions. If those early reports were accurate, what happened next would change the entire conversation. If the first phase of the story centered on symbolism, the second phase revolved around something even more fascinating: perception. Because within Buckingham Palace, perception is not merely a public relations concern. Perception can shape headlines, influence public confidence, and quietly determine which narratives gain momentum long before any official statement is ever released. As anticipation surrounding the state occasion continued to build, royal commentators increasingly focused on a question that extended far beyond jewelry. Why had the possibility of Catherine, Princess of Wales, wearing a historically significant royal piece generated such intense discussion in the first place? After all, royal jewels appear regularly at major events. Yet this situation felt different, and seasoned palace observers quickly recognized why. The answer lay in timing. King Charles III was continuing to define the early years of his reign. Prince William, the future king, was assuming greater visibility. Catherine, Princess of Wales, was becoming increasingly central to the public image of the monarchy. At the same time, the institution itself was navigating a period of extraordinary transition unlike anything witnessed since the final decades of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. And whenever a monarchy enters a transitional era, symbolism suddenly becomes amplified. What might once have been viewed as a simple ceremonial choice begins carrying deeper significance. What appears routine can become a signal. What seems insignificant can suddenly dominate international headlines. But here is where the story becomes even more interesting. Several royal analysts began suggesting that the debate surrounding Catherine, Princess of Wales, reflected a much larger conversation taking place both inside and outside royal circles. The real question was not whether Catherine would wear a particular tiara. The real question was whether Catherine had quietly become the monarchy's most important public figure after Prince William. Think about that for a moment. If an institution built on hierarchy, tradition, and continuity increasingly finds itself relying on the popularity and credibility of one individual, what does that reveal about the future direction of that institution? Many observers believe Catherine, Princess of Wales, occupies precisely that position today. Over the years, Kate Middleton has developed a reputation for consistency during periods when consistency has often been difficult to maintain. While controversy surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle generated global headlines, while debates surrounding modernization continued to divide commentators, and while King Charles III faced the enormous challenge of succeeding Queen Elizabeth II, Catherine largely remained associated with stability. That reputation was not built overnight. It emerged through thousands of engagements, countless public appearances, and years of disciplined public service. Unlike celebrity culture, where visibility alone often creates influence, royal influence depends heavily upon trust. Trust cannot be manufactured quickly. Trust must be accumulated gradually. And according to many royal commentators, Catherine has accumulated an enormous reserve of public trust. Yet trust can also create unexpected complications. Because when one figure becomes exceptionally popular, comparisons inevitably follow. Royal watchers began asking whether Queen Camilla faced a unique challenge. Not necessarily because of personal rivalry, but because public attention naturally gravitates toward figures perceived as representing the future rather than the present. History offers many examples of this phenomenon. Future monarchs frequently attract fascination because they embody possibility. Future queens often generate intense interest because audiences imagine what the next chapter might look like. In that environment, Catherine, Princess of Wales, occupies a uniquely powerful position. And that raises another intriguing question. Is public influence inside a modern monarchy determined by title alone, or is it increasingly determined by public connection? The answer may be far more complicated than many people realize. As discussions intensified, another factor quietly entered the conversation. Behind palace walls, experienced royal advisors understand that state occasions are not simply ceremonial gatherings. They are global showcases. Every photograph is distributed internationally. Every image becomes part of the historical record. Every visual moment contributes to how the royal family is perceived around the world. For that reason, preparation for major diplomatic events often involves extraordinary levels of planning. Clothing selections are reviewed. Seating arrangements are reviewed. Arrival sequences are reviewed. Photographic angles are reviewed. Nothing is left entirely to chance. That reality only increased speculation surrounding Catherine, Princess of Wales, and the symbolic significance attached to the evening. If Catherine appeared prominently throughout the event, many observers believed it would reinforce existing perceptions about Catherine's growing importance within the institution. But then another question began circulating among commentators. What if the discussion itself had become the story? Sometimes the most revealing aspect of royal coverage is not what actually happens. Sometimes the most revealing aspect is what people expect to happen. Expectations often expose public attitudes more clearly than reality ever could. And public expectations surrounding Catherine, Princess of Wales, had reached remarkable levels. Supporters viewed Catherine as a future queen-in-waiting. Critics questioned whether expectations had become unrealistic. Others argued that excessive attention placed unfair pressure on Catherine and Prince William. Yet regardless of perspective, one conclusion seemed unavoidable. The spotlight was becoming brighter, much brighter. As the hours leading up to the event continued to disappear, palace attention reportedly shifted from ceremonial preparation toward a series of unexpected developments that few royal observers had anticipated. What had begun as a discussion about symbolism was gradually transforming into a discussion about trust, access, and information. And if those reports were accurate, the next stage of the story would introduce a question far more significant than who stood in front of the cameras. Because someone appeared to know far more about palace preparations than outside observers should have known. And that development would soon raise entirely new concerns about what was really happening behind the scenes. Before we continue, if you enjoy in-depth analysis of Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Buckingham Palace, and the future of the royal family, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because in the next section, attention shifts away from public appearances and toward the growing mystery surrounding palace information, private discussions, and a series of developments that left royal watchers wondering whether this was ever truly about a tiara at all, or whether it was actually about power. By the time royal observers believed they understood the significance of a tiara discussion, another layer of the story began to emerge, and this new development shifted attention away from symbolism and towards something considerably more intriguing. Because while public conversations focused on Catherine, Princess of Wales, Queen Camilla, and the visual messaging surrounding a major state occasion, a growing number of commentators began asking a different question altogether. How had so many details about what was supposedly an internal palace matter become the subject of widespread speculation before the event had even begun? That question may sound simple, but within royal circles, it carries enormous significance. Buckingham Palace has spent generations perfecting the management of information. Palace officials understand that narratives often shape public perception long before facts become available. For that reason, information surrounding major royal events is typically controlled with extraordinary care. Yet in this case, rumors appeared to be spreading faster than usual, and that immediately attracted attention among experienced royal correspondents. Some royal commentators suggested that the growing speculation reflected nothing more than public fascination with Catherine, Princess of Wales. Others argued that the intense interest surrounding Prince William, the future king, naturally elevated every story connected to Catherine. However, a third interpretation soon emerged, and this interpretation was perhaps the most interesting of all. What if the widespread discussion itself revealed deeper anxieties about the future of the monarchy? After all, King Charles III remains the reigning monarch. Queen Camilla holds an important constitutional position. Yet whenever major royal stories dominate international headlines, public attention frequently gravitates toward Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Why does that continue to happen? And what does that reveal about the monarchy's next chapter? Those questions became increasingly difficult to ignore. Over the last several years, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, have gradually become the central figures in many discussions about the future of the royal family. While King Charles III represents continuity with the institution's past, Prince William represents continuity with its future. That distinction matters because monarchies survive through successful transitions from one generation to the next. History demonstrates that every royal generation eventually faces a defining test. For Queen Elizabeth II, that test involved guiding the institution through decades of enormous social change. For King Charles III, the challenge involves preserving stability while adapting to a rapidly changing media environment. But for Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, the challenge may be entirely different. The challenge may involve convincing future generations that the monarchy remains relevant in the modern era. And that is precisely why every symbolic moment attracts so much attention. Yet something else was happening beneath the surface. As discussions intensified, some royal watchers began revisiting the broader relationships that have shaped royal coverage in recent years. No modern discussion about public perception within the royal family can completely avoid mentioning Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Although Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were not directly connected to the reported events surrounding the state occasion, the wider context remained impossible to ignore. The departure of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle fundamentally altered how many people viewed the institution. For supporters of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Sussex story highlighted structural challenges within royal life. For supporters of the monarchy, the situation demonstrated the extraordinary pressures associated with public duty and institutional responsibility. Regardless of perspective, one outcome became undeniable. Public interest in royal relationships increased dramatically. Every interaction became meaningful. Every appearance became symbolic. Every perceived shift generated speculation. And within that environment, even routine decisions could quickly acquire significance far beyond their original intention. Have you noticed how often modern royal stories become less about events themselves and more about what people believe those events represent? That pattern may be one of the most important clues in understanding this entire situation. Because while countless headlines focused on personalities, many palace observers believe the royal story involved competing visions of the monarchy's future image. Should the institution prioritize tradition above all else? Should modernization become a greater focus? Should public popularity influence visibility within the royal family? Or should hierarchy remain the defining principle regardless of public opinion? Those debates have existed for years, but they appeared especially relevant as Catherine, Princess of Wales, continued to receive increasing attention. At the same time, Prince William appeared increasingly comfortable embracing a more visible leadership role. International engagements, charitable initiatives, environmental projects, and diplomatic responsibilities all contributed to the perception that Prince William was steadily preparing for the future responsibilities of kingship. And that preparation did not go unnoticed. Royal commentators began describing Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, as the monarchy's most important long-term investment. Whether one agrees with that assessment or not, the observation itself revealed how many people were already thinking beyond the present reign. But just as these discussions gained momentum, reports suggested that concerns inside palace circles were becoming more complex than anyone initially realized. Because information was continuing to move, rumors were continuing to spread, questions were multiplying faster than answers, and some observers began wondering whether the growing speculation surrounding the event had become impossible to contain. If that was true, another challenge suddenly emerged. What happens when perception begins shaping reality rather than merely reflecting it? That question would soon become impossible for Buckingham Palace to ignore. And as the highly anticipated event moved closer, a series of developments reportedly forced senior figures to confront an uncomfortable possibility. The greatest threat to royal stability was not necessarily conflict itself, but the public belief that conflict existed. Before we continue, if you enjoy thoughtful analysis of Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace, and the future of the royal family, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because in the next section, the focus shifts from speculation and perception to the extraordinary pressure surrounding the event itself, where every camera, every photograph, and every public appearance suddenly carried far greater significance than anyone expected. As the day of the highly anticipated state occasion finally arrived, something remarkable happened. The discussion was no longer confined to royal enthusiasts, constitutional commentators, or dedicated palace correspondents. What had started as a niche conversation about symbolism, succession, and royal presentation was now attracting broader public attention, and that shift created a new challenge for Buckingham Palace. Because once a royal story escapes the boundaries of specialist analysis and enters the mainstream conversation, expectations begin to take on a life of their own. By this stage, Catherine, Princess of Wales, was already carrying enormous public interest on her shoulders. Every appearance by Kate Middleton was being examined through multiple lenses simultaneously. Some observers viewed Catherine, Princess of Wales, as the embodiment of continuity. Others saw Catherine as the face of a more modern monarchy. Still others focused on Catherine's growing international popularity and wondered whether that popularity had become one of the institution's greatest strategic assets. But there was another question quietly emerging beneath the surface. Could any individual royal remain unaffected by the weight of such expectations? After all, history shows that public admiration can be both a blessing and a burden. The more symbolic importance people assign to a royal figure, the greater the pressure placed upon every public appearance, every speech, and every decision. Catherine, Princess of Wales, was not simply attending a diplomatic event. Whether fair or not, many observers were treating Catherine as a representation of the monarchy's future direction. And that reality dramatically raised the stakes. What would happen if the evening unfolded perfectly? What would happen if something unexpected occurred? And perhaps most importantly, what would happen if public perception failed to match palace planning? Those questions became increasingly relevant as international media organizations prepared extensive coverage of the event. Around the world, photographers positioned themselves for the arrival sequence. Television networks assembled special broadcasts. Newspapers prepared front-page coverage. Digital publications monitored every development in real time. The occasion was no longer just a royal gathering. It had become a global media event. And in situations like these, visual moments often matter more than official statements. A single image can dominate headlines for days. A single photograph can shape public interpretation. A single expression can generate thousands of competing theories. Royal households understand this better than almost anyone. That understanding helps explain why Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace devote extraordinary attention to presentation during major state functions. Nothing is left entirely to chance because appearances frequently become part of the historical record. Yet this is where the story takes another fascinating turn. Despite all the speculation surrounding Catherine, Princess of Wales, many experienced royal observers noted something that often goes unnoticed. Catherine rarely appears eager to become the center of the story itself. Throughout years of public service, Catherine has generally focused attention on charitable causes, official responsibilities, and institutional objectives rather than personal promotion. That distinction matters because some commentators argue that Catherine's popularity is not primarily driven by visibility. Instead, Catherine's popularity may stem from restraint. In an era where public figures often compete aggressively for attention, Catherine, Princess of Wales, frequently projects a very different image. The Princess of Wales often appears measured, disciplined, and cautious about overshadowing the purpose of official engagements. Could that restraint be one of the reasons Catherine continues to connect with audiences? Many royal watchers believe the answer is yes. At the same time, Prince William, the future king, appeared increasingly aware of the broader significance of the moment. Prince William has spent years preparing for eventual kingship, but preparation for leadership involves more than constitutional knowledge. Leadership also involves understanding public expectations and managing institutional stability during periods of uncertainty. And uncertainty was becoming an increasingly important factor in the royal conversation. Not because of any confirmed crisis, not because of any official dispute, but because public speculation itself had become part of the narrative. The more commentators discussed internal dynamics, the more audiences searched for clues. The more audiences searched for clues, the more every gesture attracted analysis. The result was a feedback loop that transformed ordinary royal moments into subjects of extraordinary scrutiny. Have you ever noticed how quickly assumptions can become accepted wisdom when enough people repeat them? That phenomenon may have been influencing the story more than many realized. Meanwhile, King Charles III faced a unique balancing act. As reigning monarch, King Charles III remained responsible for presenting unity, continuity, and institutional confidence. Regardless of private discussions or public speculation, King Charles III needed the monarchy to project stability above all else. For centuries, royal institutions have survived precisely because they understand the importance of appearing larger than individual disagreements. But could that strategy still work in the age of 24-hour news cycles and social media analysis? That question was becoming increasingly difficult to answer. Every photograph was uploaded within seconds. Every appearance generated immediate commentary. Every narrative faced instant challenges and alternative interpretations. The environment surrounding modern monarchy had changed dramatically. And yet, despite those challenges, the central mystery remained unresolved. Why had one ceremonial event generated so much fascination? Why had so many people become invested in the symbolic meaning of a single royal appearance? And why did the conversation continue growing rather than fading away? As the evening approached its most important moments, many observers began reaching the same conclusion. The real significance of the story was never about jewelry, seating arrangements, or ceremonial traditions alone. The real significance involved what those details revealed about public hopes, public expectations, and the future image of the royal family. And then, just when many believed they understood the narrative, another development shifted attention once again. Because after the cameras stopped flashing and the official proceedings moved forward, royal commentators began examining the reactions, the photographs, and the aftermath. What they found would open an entirely new debate about influence, legacy, and the monarchy's next chapter. Before we continue, if you enjoy thoughtful discussions about Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Buckingham Palace, and the future of the royal family, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss future royal documentaries. Because in the final section, we examine what happened after the event, why the conversation refused to disappear, and how one evening ultimately became a larger discussion about legitimacy, public trust, and the future of the monarchy itself. By the time the state occasion finally unfolded before the world's cameras, something unexpected had already happened. The conversation was no longer centered on a single tiara, a single photograph, or even a single evening. Instead, the discussion had evolved into something much larger. Royal commentators, constitutional observers, and longtime followers of the monarchy were now debating a far more consequential question. What had this entire episode revealed about the future image of the royal family itself? As guests arrived beneath the bright lights and international photographers captured every angle, Buckingham Palace achieved its most immediate objective. The event projected elegance, stability, and continuity. The ceremonial traditions remained intact. The diplomatic meetings proceeded as planned. The carefully choreographed presentation of royal duty appeared seamless to millions watching around the world. Yet beneath that polished surface, a different narrative was beginning to emerge. Because when the photographs started circulating across newspapers, television broadcasts, and digital platforms, many observers noticed a recurring pattern. Once again, much of the public conversation seemed to gravitate toward Catherine, Princess of Wales. Whether discussing Catherine's presence, Catherine's composure, or Catherine's symbolic role within the institution, audiences appeared increasingly fascinated by what Catherine represented rather than simply what Catherine wore. And that raises a fascinating question for viewers. Has Catherine, Princess of Wales, become the figure through whom many people now imagine the monarchy's future? Some royal commentators believe that is exactly what has happened. According to those observers, Catherine, Princess of Wales, embodies a combination of tradition and modernity that resonates with audiences across generations. Prince William, the future king, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, increasingly appear together as a partnership preparing for responsibilities that extend far beyond ceremonial appearances. However, not everyone agrees with that interpretation. Other analysts argue that public enthusiasm can sometimes create narratives that become larger than reality itself. From this perspective, audiences may occasionally project future expectations onto Catherine, Princess of Wales, simply because the transition from King Charles III to Prince William represents one of the most anticipated developments in modern royal history. So which interpretation is correct? Is Catherine, Princess of Wales, genuinely becoming the defining public face of the monarchy's future? Or are royal observers reading deeper significance into moments that were never intended to carry such weight? The answer may ultimately depend on something much larger than any single event. Because the modern monarchy exists in a media environment unlike anything previous generations experienced. During the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, public perception moved relatively slowly. Stories developed over days and weeks. Today, narratives can form within minutes. A photograph can circle the globe before an official event has even concluded. A single image can spark thousands of discussions, each offering a different interpretation of the same moment. That reality presents both opportunities and challenges for Buckingham Palace. On one hand, figures such as Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, benefit from unprecedented global visibility. On the other hand, every appearance becomes subject to intense analysis, often extending far beyond the intentions of the people involved. Have you ever wondered whether modern royals spend as much time managing perception as performing duty? That question may become increasingly important in the years ahead. As King Charles III continues shaping the current reign, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, continue moving toward a future that many believe will define the next era of the monarchy. Meanwhile, discussions involving Queen Camilla, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace, and the wider royal family continue to influence how audiences understand the institution's evolving identity. And perhaps that is the most important lesson from this entire story. The real significance was never confined to a single object, a single rumor, or a single evening. The real significance was the extraordinary level of public interest surrounding the future of the monarchy. Every conversation eventually returned to the same central theme. Who will carry the institution forward? Which figures best represent continuity? And how will the royal family adapt to a rapidly changing world while preserving traditions that stretch back centuries? Those questions remain unanswered. And perhaps that is why the story continues to resonate long after the event itself has ended. Because while the photographs have been published and the headlines have moved on, the larger debate remains very much alive. The future role of Prince William, the future influence of Catherine, Princess of Wales, the legacy of King Charles III, and the evolving public image of the royal family will continue generating discussion for years to come. What do you think? Has Catherine, Princess of Wales, become the strongest symbol of the monarchy's future? Or are royal commentators placing too much emphasis on symbolic moments that may not carry the meaning people assume? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because this is one of the most fascinating debates currently surrounding the royal family. And if you enjoy thoughtful royal documentaries exploring Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Buckingham Palace, and the future of the monarchy, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join us for our next discussion. Because in the world of royalty, the most revealing stories are often the ones still unfolding.
I think he'll change. He is committed of his own level of service, and
privileged to bear during so much of my life and duty.
Queen for a very long time. And although you kind of know that this might happen.
State banquets are supposed to showcase unity, stability, and royal tradition. Yet one alleged decision inside Buckingham Palace has triggered a question that royal watchers cannot seem to ignore. If Queen Camilla believed her position within the monarchy was finally secure, why do some observers believe Princess and quietly reminded everyone where the true boundaries of royal power still exist? Section 1. The moment that changed the conversation. For many years, Queen Camilla appeared to be living through one of the most remarkable transformations in modern royal history. Once criticized relentlessly by sections of the public and viewed by some royal traditionalists as an outsider who would never fully belong within the institution, Queen Camilla gradually became an accepted and established figure at the center of the monarchy. By the time King Charles III ascended the throne, It seemed that one of the longest and most difficult chapters in royal history had finally reached its conclusion. From the outside, the story looked complete. Queen Camilla attended major state occasions, represented the crown on important engagements, welcomed world leaders, and stood beside King Charles III during some of the most significant moments of the modern monarchy. Many royal commentators believe the resistance that had once followed Queen Camilla everywhere had largely disappeared. The battles appeared to have been fought, and Queen Camilla appeared to have won them. But what if that assumption was never entirely accurate? What if acceptance and authority are not actually the same thing? And what if one senior royal quietly decided it was time to remind everyone of that distinction? That is where Princess Anne enters the story. Among all members of the royal family, Princess Anne occupies a unique position. Unlike figures who attract constant headlines, Princess Anne has spent decades building a reputation based not on publicity, but on duty. Royal watchers frequently describe Princess Anne as one of the hardest-working members of the monarchy, a royal whose loyalty has always been directed toward the institution itself rather than personal popularity. Because of that reputation, whenever Princess Anne becomes connected to a controversy, people immediately pay attention. And according to reports that have circulated among royal commentators, preparations for a major state banquet may have become the setting for a disagreement that exposed far more than anyone expected. Now, before we go further, it is important to remember that many details remain the subject of speculation and commentary rather than confirmed palace statements. Nevertheless, the discussion surrounding the alleged incident has generated enormous interest because of what it may reveal about the inner workings of the monarchy. The controversy reportedly centered on guest arrangements connected to one of Buckingham Palace's most prestigious diplomatic events. To ordinary observers, a seating chart might seem like a minor administrative detail. However, within royal circles, placement can carry enormous symbolic significance. Who sits near the monarch? Who gains access to influential conversations? Who is positioned within the most visible sections of the room? Inside the world of royal diplomacy, these decisions are rarely accidental, and that is precisely why the reports attracted so much attention. According to royal commentators, concerns allegedly emerged regarding the presence and positioning of individuals connected to Queen Camilla's family. On the surface, such an issue may sound insignificant. After all, family members attending important occasions is hardly unusual. Yet critics argue that a deeper question was involved. Should personal family connections ever benefit from the prestige and influence attached to the crown? Or does allowing such arrangements risk blurring the line between public duty and private interest? Those questions have followed monarchies for centuries, and according to some observers, Princess Anne may have viewed the situation through exactly that lens. What makes this story particularly fascinating is that Princess Anne has never been known for dramatic confrontations. Princess Anne rarely engages in public disputes. Princess Anne rarely participates in media battles. Princess Anne rarely responds to controversy through emotional displays. Instead, Princess Anne has built a reputation for something very different. Quiet action, measured action, institutional action. That is why reports suggesting Princess Anne intervened during banquet preparations immediately sparked curiosity among royal audiences across Britain, the United States, Canada, and beyond. Because if Princess Anne truly believed a line was being crossed, many royal watchers suspect Princess Anne would not need a public argument to make a point. A procedural decision could accomplish the same objective, and perhaps with far greater impact. What makes the situation even more intriguing is the timing. The monarchy is currently navigating a period of transition unlike any it has experienced in decades. King Charles III remains the reigning monarch, yet increasing attention is already focused on Prince William, the future king, and Catherine, Princess of Wales. The future of the institution is no longer a distant concept. The future is approaching. As a result, every discussion about influence, hierarchy, succession, and royal boundaries carries additional weight. Could the alleged banquet dispute have been about far more than a single event? Could Princess Anne have been sending a message about the future direction of the monarchy? Or was Princess Anne simply enforcing rules that have existed for generations? Those questions would soon become impossible to ignore. And as royal commentators examined what allegedly happened next, many began focusing on an even more surprising issue. Not Queen Camilla's position within the monarchy, but the invisible limits that may still surround that position despite everything Queen Camilla has achieved. Before we uncover why those limits matter so much, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because the next part of the story takes us inside a world where influence, loyalty, and royal protocol collide in ways the public rarely gets to see. And once those hidden boundaries became visible, the conversation surrounding Princess and Queen Camilla changed dramatically. The deeper royal commentators examined the alleged banquet controversy, the more the discussion began shifting away from a single seating arrangement and toward a much larger question about the structure of royal influence itself. After all, if Princess was truly willing to intervene over what some observers viewed as a relatively minor adjustment, then perhaps the issue was never about one dinner table at Buckingham Palace. Perhaps the issue was about protecting a principle that has governed the monarchy for generations, even when that principle creates uncomfortable consequences for some of the people closest to the crown. To understand why this matters, it is necessary to look beyond the glittering images that the public sees. When Queen Camilla appears beside King Charles III at state banquets, diplomatic receptions, and major national ceremonies, the image projected to the world is one of stability, authority, and permanence. Yet constitutional reality tells a more complicated story. Unlike a monarch who inherits the crown through bloodline succession, Queen Camilla's position exists through marriage to King Charles III. That distinction may seem technical, but within royal circles, technical distinctions often become the most important distinctions of all. This is where many royal watchers believe the underlying tension begins. Because while Queen Camilla has unquestionably secured an important place within the monarchy, Queen Camilla's children occupy a very different position. Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopez have never held royal titles, never entered the line of succession, and never carried official royal responsibilities. From a constitutional perspective, Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopez remain private citizens whose connection to the institution exists through family rather than royal status. And that reality raises an intriguing question. Could the monarchy ever allow personal family connections to evolve into something resembling official influence? Or would senior royals immediately draw a line before that process could begin? Many commentators believe Princess already knows the answer. Throughout decades of public service, Princess has developed a reputation unlike almost any other member of the royal family. While King Charles III has often been associated with modernization, while Prince William has increasingly become associated with the future of the monarchy, and while Catherine, Princess of Wales, has become one of the institution's most popular figures, Princess has earned respect through consistency. The rules that mattered 30 years ago still matter to Princess today. That unwavering approach may explain why reports surrounding the banquet attracted so much attention. Because if Princess believed protocol was being stretched, even slightly, Princess may have viewed the issue not as an isolated incident, but as a precedent. And royal institutions tend to fear precedents more than controversies. Think about that for a moment. If one exception is permitted today, what prevents another exception tomorrow? If one family connection receives special consideration now, where does the monarchy draw the line later? Those questions have challenged royal households for centuries. And according to some observers, Princess may have concluded that allowing ambiguity was more dangerous than creating temporary discomfort. What makes this situation even more fascinating is the broader context surrounding King Charles III's reign. Unlike previous eras, the monarchy is already operating under the shadow of an approaching transition. Prince William, the future king, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are no longer viewed simply as senior royals. Increasingly, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are viewed as the future center of the institution itself. That shift changes how many insiders evaluate decisions. Actions are no longer judged solely according to today's priorities. Actions are increasingly measured against tomorrow's monarchy. And that is where another important question emerges. Could Princess Anne's reported position actually reflect a philosophy that Prince William already shares? Many royal commentators have suggested that Prince William favors a streamlined monarchy focused primarily on those directly connected to constitutional responsibilities. Under such a vision, the institution would revolve around Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, while maintaining a smaller and more focused structure overall. If that assessment is accurate, then the alleged banquet controversy may reveal something far more significant than a disagreement about protocol. The incident may offer a glimpse into how future royal leadership intends to define influence. And that possibility has generated enormous discussion among royal audiences. After all, if Princess and Prince William view institutional discipline as essential to the monarchy's survival, then every decision involving status, visibility, and access suddenly carries additional meaning. Was Princess and simply protecting tradition? Was Princess and protecting Prince William's future monarchy? Or was Princess and sending a message that certain boundaries remain non-negotiable regardless of who occupies the throne? As those questions circulated among commentators, attention began shifting toward another figure at the center of the story. Because while observers debated Princess Anne's motivations, many began wondering what this situation may have meant for Queen Camilla personally. After decades spent overcoming resistance, criticism, and skepticism, could Queen Camilla have discovered that acceptance within the monarchy does not necessarily guarantee unlimited influence within the monarchy? And if that realization truly occurred, what might it reveal about the hidden limits that still exist behind palace walls? Before we uncover that crucial piece of a story, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because the next chapter explores a side of royal life that the public rarely sees: the delicate balance between personal loyalty, family ambition, and institutional survival. And as royal watchers soon discovered, the answers surrounding Queen Camilla's position may have been far more revealing than the banquet controversy itself. As the debate surrounding Princess Anne and Queen Camilla continued to spread among royal observers, attention gradually moved away from the reported banquet incident itself and towards something potentially even more revealing. The real story, many commentators argued, was not about where someone sat during a state event. The real story was about what the controversy appeared to expose regarding the limits of influence inside one of the world's oldest institutions. Because while public attention often focuses on titles, jewels, ceremonies, and grand appearances, royal history repeatedly demonstrates that true power within the monarchy is often defined by invisible boundaries rather than visible privileges. That distinction becomes particularly important when discussing Queen Camilla's unique position within the royal family. After decades of scrutiny and public debate, Queen Camilla ultimately achieved what many once considered impossible. Queen Camilla became queen alongside King Charles III and secured a place at the center of royal life. Yet even that extraordinary achievement did not alter one fundamental reality that has existed since the beginning of constitutional monarchy. The crown belongs to the institution, not to individuals, and certainly not to individual family branches. This is precisely why so many royal watchers became fascinated by the alleged banquet controversy. Because if reports are accurate, the situation may have served as a reminder that no matter how respected or established a royal figure becomes, the institution itself remains larger than any one person. And that leads to an important question for viewers. Do you believe modern monarchies should become more flexible and family-oriented, or do you believe strict boundaries are necessary to protect the institution's credibility? The answer may determine how people interpret everything that followed. For Queen Camilla, the challenge is particularly complex because Queen Camilla occupies a position unlike almost anyone else in modern royal history. Queen Camilla stands beside King Charles III at the highest level of royal life, yet Tom Parker Bowles and Laura Lopez remain outside the official constitutional structure. That reality creates a fascinating contrast between personal proximity and institutional distance. To ordinary families, such distinctions may seem unnecessary. To monarchies, such distinctions are often considered essential. Royal commentators frequently point out that throughout history, monarchies have struggled whenever personal interests became difficult to separate from institutional responsibilities. Every generation has faced some version of the same challenge. How does a royal household balance family loyalty with constitutional duty? And perhaps more importantly, who decides where that balance should exist? Many observers believe Princess Anne has answered that question throughout an entire lifetime of service. Unlike some members of the royal family who have embraced modernization as a central goal, Princess and has consistently emphasized continuity, responsibility, and discipline. Princess Anne's reputation was not built through speeches about reform. Princess Anne's reputation was built through decades of quietly following the rules, regardless of whether those rules were convenient. That reputation explains why reports surrounding Princess Anne's alleged intervention resonated so strongly with audiences. Because many people immediately believed the story sounded consistent with Princess Anne's long-established approach. Yet another layer of intrigue emerged when analysts began considering the future reign of Prince William. The future king occupies an increasingly important position within conversations about the monarchy's long-term direction. While King Charles III continues to lead the institution today, many palace observers believe preparations for the next era are already underway. Prince William, the future king, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are widely viewed as the foundation upon which the next generation of royal leadership will be built. That reality introduces an entirely new dimension to the discussion. If Prince William eventually inherits a streamlined monarchy focused on constitutional necessity, what happens to figures whose connection to royal life exists primarily through marriage rather than succession? What happens to extended family members who enjoy proximity to royal life but possess no formal royal role? And perhaps most intriguingly, have senior royals already begun preparing for that future behind the scenes? Those questions remain unanswered, but they continue fueling speculation among royal commentators. The reason is simple. The monarchy rarely announces future priorities directly. Instead, priorities often reveal themselves through decisions, traditions, invitations, appearances, and subtle signals that only become obvious when viewed collectively. That is why so many analysts view the alleged banquet dispute as symbolically important, not because of one chair, not because of one evening, but because of what the incident may have communicated about institutional thinking. And if that interpretation is correct, another fascinating question immediately emerges. Could Queen Camilla herself already understand these limitations better than anyone else? After all, Queen Camilla has spent decades navigating the realities of royal life. Queen Camilla understands better than most how slowly the institution changes and how carefully every adjustment is measured. Some commentators even argue that Queen Camilla's long journey toward acceptance may have given Queen Camilla a deeper appreciation for royal boundaries than critics sometimes acknowledge. If that assessment is true, then the alleged controversy may not simply be a story about disagreement. It may be a story about competing responsibilities. Princess and protecting institutional tradition, Queen Camilla protecting family interests, King Charles III balancing personal loyalty with constitutional duty, and Prince William representing the future toward which the entire monarchy is gradually moving. When viewed through that lens, the story becomes far more complex than many headlines suggest. But there is one final piece of this puzzle that royal watchers continue discussing. Because if Princess Anne's actions reflected a larger effort to preserve royal boundaries, then what role does Catherine, Princess of Wales, play in that future vision of the monarchy? And why do some royal commentators believe the growing influence of Catherine, Princess of Wales, may be quietly reshaping royal priorities long before Prince William officially becomes king? Before we explore that crucial chapter, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because the next part of the story takes us directly into the future of the monarchy itself, where the rise of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, may reveal why this entire controversy matters far more than anyone initially realized. And once that future comes into focus, the alleged message behind Princess Anne's actions begins to look very different indeed. As the alleged banquet controversy continued generating discussion across royal circles, another question gradually moved to the center of the conversation, and many royal commentators believe this question may be far more important than the original dispute itself. If Princess Anne's reported actions were truly intended to reinforce institutional boundaries, then what does that reveal about the monarchy that Prince William, the future king, is expected to inherit? More importantly, what role will Catherine, Princess of Wales, play in shaping that future? Because when royal observers examine the direction of the modern monarchy, the names that appear most frequently are no longer King Charles III and Queen Camilla alone. Increasingly, attention is shifting toward Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, whose influence appears to be growing with every passing year. That shift is not simply about popularity, although Catherine, Princess of Wales, remains one of the most admired members of the royal family. The shift is also about inevitability. Unlike many figures whose positions depend upon circumstance, Prince William's future role is already defined. Prince William is the heir to the throne. Catherine, Princess of Wales, is the future queen. Every major decision involving the long-term survival of the monarchy is therefore viewed through the lens of what comes next. And that reality may explain why so many royal analysts became interested in the alleged banquet incident. Because when an institution begins preparing for the future, every symbol becomes meaningful. Every invitation carries significance. Every seating arrangement attracts scrutiny. Every public appearance contributes to a larger narrative. Could the reported actions attributed to Princess and have reflected preparations for that future reality? Many royal commentators believe that possibility cannot be dismissed. Throughout recent years, Prince William has frequently been associated with the idea of a streamlined monarchy, a structure designed to focus public attention on a smaller group of senior royals carrying clear constitutional responsibilities. Under that vision, Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis would form the central framework of the institution's next chapter. If that approach ultimately becomes reality, the implications could be substantial. Because a streamlined monarchy naturally requires difficult decisions about who occupies the center of royal life and who remains outside it. And that leads to a fascinating question for viewers. Do you think a smaller monarchy strengthens the institution, or does a smaller monarchy risk losing valuable family connections that have traditionally supported the crown? Royal audiences remain deeply divided on that issue. Yet one figure continues appearing at the center of these discussions, and that figure is Catherine, Princess of Wales. Unlike Queen Camilla's journey, which involved overcoming decades of public controversy and resistance, Catherine, Princess of Wales, followed a very different path into royal life. From the earliest stages of public engagement, Kate Middleton was increasingly viewed as someone capable of providing stability, continuity, and broad public appeal. Over time, Catherine, Princess of Wales, transformed from a royal newcomer into a future queen whose influence now extends across nearly every aspect of the institution's public image. That evolution matters because it highlights an important contrast. Royal influence can emerge through formal authority. Royal influence can emerge through public trust. And sometimes public trust becomes the more powerful force. Many commentators argue that Catherine, Princess of Wales, has reached precisely that position. As a result, when discussions emerge regarding the monarchy's future priorities, observers frequently look toward Catherine, Princess of Wales, for clues about what the next era may resemble. What is particularly interesting is that Catherine, Princess of Wales, has never appeared eager to place extended family members into prominent royal positions. Unlike some historical royal households, where relatives gradually accumulated visibility and influence, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has generally maintained a clear distinction between private family life and official royal responsibilities. To supporters, that approach demonstrates discipline. To critics, that approach reflects caution. Either way, the pattern has attracted attention. And some royal watchers believe Princess, and may recognize similarities between that philosophy and Princess and's own long-standing commitment to institutional boundaries. Whether those similarities represent deliberate coordination or simply shared values remains impossible to know. Nevertheless, the perception itself has become increasingly influential, because perceptions often shape royal narratives long before facts emerge. At the same time, King Charles III faces a particularly delicate challenge. King Charles III must simultaneously protect family relationships while preserving the institution's credibility. History has repeatedly shown that monarchs often struggle when personal loyalties collide with constitutional responsibilities. That balancing act becomes even more complicated when public scrutiny intensifies. Every gesture is analyzed. Every decision is debated. Every perceived signal generates headlines. And according to many observers, the alleged banquet controversy became so compelling precisely because it appeared to touch all of these issues simultaneously. Princess, and represented institutional discipline. Queen Camilla represented personal family interests. King Charles III represented the challenge of balancing both. And Prince William represented the future, waiting just beyond the horizon. When viewed through that framework, the controversy begins to resemble something much larger than a disagreement about protocol. It begins to resemble a debate about what kind of monarchy will exist 20 years from now. And perhaps that is why the story refuses to disappear. Because beneath the surface lies a question that millions of royal followers continue asking. Who truly shapes the future of the monarchy? The individuals who currently hold power, or the individuals preparing to inherit it? Before we answer that question, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because the next chapter takes us even deeper inside the hidden power structure of the royal family, where royal titles, public popularity, constitutional rules, and personal loyalties collide in ways that few outsiders ever get to witness. And once those competing forces come into focus, the alleged message behind Princess Anne's actions may become clearer than ever before. As the discussion surrounding Princess Anne and Queen Camilla continued to evolve, many royal commentators arrived at a conclusion that may be the most important takeaway from the entire controversy. The alleged banquet dispute was never really about a seating chart, a guest list, or even a single evening inside Buckingham Palace. Instead, the controversy appeared to shine a light on something that has always existed beneath the surface of royal life: the constant tension between personal relationships and institutional responsibility. And once that larger picture comes into focus, the actions attributed to Princess Anne begin to look far less like an isolated intervention and far more like a reflection of how the monarchy protects itself during periods of transition. What makes this story particularly compelling is that every major figure involved appears to represent a different aspect of the modern monarchy. King Charles III represents continuity during a period of significant change. Queen Camilla represents one of the most extraordinary journeys from public controversy to royal acceptance. Princess Anne represents unwavering commitment to duty and protocol. Prince William, the future king, represents the next chapter waiting on the horizon. Catherine, Princess of Wales, represents stability, public trust, and the future image of the crown. When viewed individually, each figure tells a separate story. When viewed together, those stories reveal something much larger. The monarchy is not simply a family. The monarchy is an institution constantly preparing for its own future. And that preparation often requires difficult decisions that may appear harsh from the outside. But here is the question that continues dividing royal audiences. Should institutions always come before family? Or should family considerations sometimes outweigh centuries-old traditions? That question sits at the heart of countless royal debates, and many viewers may have very different answers. Some commentators argue that Princess Anne's reported actions, if the reports are accurate, demonstrate exactly why Princess Anne remains one of the most respected members of the royal family. Supporters believe Princess Anne understands that public confidence depends upon maintaining clear boundaries between royal duty and personal interests. From that perspective, protecting the institution is not optional. Protecting the institution is the responsibility that comes with royal service. Yet others view the situation differently. Some observers argue that modern monarchies must continue evolving if they hope to remain relevant in a rapidly changing world. Those commentators believe that strict adherence to tradition can sometimes create unnecessary divisions and prevent the institution from appearing more relatable to contemporary audiences. Both perspectives have passionate supporters, and perhaps that is why this story has generated so much discussion. Because the controversy touches on issues that extend far beyond one royal family. The debate is ultimately about leadership. The debate is about legacy. The debate is about how institutions balance tradition with adaptation. And nowhere is that balance more important than in the British monarchy. As attention increasingly shifts toward Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, those questions become even more significant. Royal watchers understand that every reign leaves its own mark on history. The monarchy that King Charles III inherited differs from the monarchy Queen Elizabeth II inherited decades earlier. Likewise, the monarchy Prince William eventually inherits may look very different from the institution that exists today. That reality makes stories like this impossible to ignore, because even the smallest controversies sometimes reveal larger truths about where an institution believes it is heading. Could the alleged banquet incident have been one of those moments? Could Princess and have been reinforcing principles that Prince William intends to carry into the future? Or could royal commentators be reading far too much into an event that was ultimately driven by protocol rather than personal conflict? The truth may never be fully known, and perhaps that uncertainty is exactly why the story continues attracting attention. Royal history is filled with moments where the public only saw part of the picture. Decisions that appeared minor at the time later proved surprisingly significant. Meanwhile, events that dominated headlines occasionally faded into irrelevance. Determining which moments truly matter is often impossible until years later. That brings us back to the central question that has followed the story from the very beginning. Was Princess and protecting the monarchy? Was Princess and delivering a quiet message? Or was Princess and simply doing what Princess and has always done throughout decades of royal service, placing institutional duty above every other consideration? What do you think? Do you believe Princess and was right to defend traditional royal boundaries? Or do you believe Queen Camilla deserved greater flexibility regarding family connections? Do you see this as a simple matter of protocol, or do you believe the controversy reveals something deeper about the future relationship between King Charles III, Queen Camilla, Prince William, and Catherine, Princess of Wales? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because this is one royal debate that continues dividing audiences around the world. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden dynamics of the royal family, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join us for more fascinating stories exploring Buckingham Palace, Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the future of the monarchy itself. Because sometimes the most revealing royal stories are not the ones spoken publicly. They are the ones hidden behind palace doors, where influence, tradition, and history quietly shape the future of the crown.
Where the sources have said that he secretly hoped William would struggle so he would pick up the phone and call him back and ask him for help.
For years, many royal watchers believed that if reconciliation ever came to the fractured relationship between Prince Harry and Prince William, the bridge would almost certainly be Catherine, Princess of Wales. Yet something appears to have changed, and according to recent reports, the woman once seen as the family's most patient peacemaker is no longer willing to carry a burden that was never hers to bear. What happened behind the scenes, and why are so many observers now saying that Prince Harry may have finally run out of road? Let's begin with the request that has left even longtime royal commentators stunned. For a long time, the public conversation surrounding the ongoing rift between Prince Harry and Prince William focused on one central question. When would the brothers finally sit down together and begin repairing the damage that has accumulated over years of public interviews, best-selling memoirs, media projects, and increasingly visible distance between two men who were once considered inseparable? However, a different question has now emerged, and many royal observers believe it may be far more important than anything discussed before. What happens when the one person still believed to be capable of opening the door simply decides not to? According to recent reports discussed by royal commentators, Prince Harry has been attempting to find pathways back into communication with Prince William. Yet rather than approaching the future king directly, claims have surfaced suggesting that attention has turned toward Catherine, Princess of Wales, as a potential intermediary. The idea itself has generated considerable discussion because it places Catherine in a position many believe she has occupied for years, the role of emotional bridge builder within an increasingly fractured family. But here is where the story becomes significantly more complicated. Many viewers may remember that Catherine, Princess of Wales, was often portrayed as one of the few senior members of the royal family who maintained hope that some form of reconciliation could eventually occur. While public tensions escalated, while headlines became increasingly dramatic, and while relationships appeared to deteriorate behind palace walls, Catherine was frequently described by commentators as someone who understood the value of family bonds, particularly where children and future generations were concerned. That reputation did not emerge overnight. It developed through years of observing how Catherine approached public life, royal duties, and personal relationships. Unlike many figures who become involved in high-profile disputes, Catherine consistently projected stability, patience, and restraint. Even during periods when speculation dominated headlines, Catherine rarely entered public arguments and almost never responded directly to criticism. And perhaps that is precisely why so many people assume that if Prince Harry ever wanted a route back toward Prince William, Catherine would eventually help make that happen. But should she? That question has become increasingly difficult for royal observers to answer. After all, when people discuss reconciliation, they often focus on what Prince Harry may have lost or what Prince William may still feel. Far less attention is paid to what Catherine herself has experienced throughout this long and painful chapter of royal history. Think about that for a moment. How many times has Catherine, Princess of Wales, been expected to absorb tension created by others? How many times has Catherine been expected to remain patient while criticism circulated, while private matters became public, and while stories involving the royal family dominated international headlines? And perhaps most importantly, how many times can one person be asked to carry responsibility for repairing relationships they did not break? Those questions are now sitting at the center of the conversation. According to commentators discussing recent developments, what appears to have changed is not Catherine's ability to help. It is Catherine's willingness to continue doing so. That distinction may sound subtle, but in reality it changes everything. Because there is a significant difference between someone being unable to act and someone consciously deciding that enough is enough. The timing of this shift is particularly fascinating. Over the past year, both Catherine, Princess of Wales, and King Charles III have faced serious health challenges that transformed public discussion surrounding the monarchy. Suddenly, questions about duty, family, legacy, and personal priorities became more important than ever before. For many observers, those difficult circumstances appear to sharpen perspectives throughout the royal family. What truly matters? What deserves energy? Which relationships remain worth fighting for? And where should boundaries finally be drawn? Those are not merely royal questions. They are human questions, which may explain why the story has resonated so strongly with audiences across the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and beyond. Yet another development has made the situation even more striking. Reports suggest that one particular public comment involving King Charles III may have become a turning point for Catherine. Not because the remark directly targeted Catherine herself, but because it allegedly revealed something deeper about the direction of family relationships and the manner in which private matters were continuing to play out in public. If that interpretation is correct, then this was never simply about one disagreement, one interview, or one controversial moment. Instead, it may have been about accumulation. Years of accumulation. Years of disappointment. Years of expectations. Years of opportunities that came and went. And when viewed through that lens, the silence now being interpreted by many commentators takes on an entirely different meaning. Because silence is not always uncertainty. Sometimes silence is a decision. Sometimes silence is a boundary. And sometimes silence says more than any statement ever could. So if Catherine, Princess of Wales, has truly stepped away from the role of peacemaker, then an even bigger question immediately emerges. Without Catherine standing in the middle, who exactly is left capable of bringing Prince William and Prince Harry back together? That question leads directly into the next chapter of the story, because the answer may reveal far more about the future of the monarchy than most people realize. Before we continue, if you enjoy thoughtful royal family analysis that looks beyond the headlines and explores the deeper dynamics shaping the monarchy, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss future updates. Because what happened next did not focus on Catherine at all. Instead, attention shifted toward Prince William himself, and what sources are now saying about a position that appears firmer than ever before. If Catherine, Princess of Wales, has stepped away from the role of mediator, then attention naturally turns toward the one person at the center of this entire story, Prince William, the future king. And this is where many royal observers believe the situation becomes even more difficult for Prince Harry. Because according to commentators who continue to follow developments inside the royal family, the question is no longer whether Prince William is angry. The question is whether Prince William has already moved beyond anger entirely and entered something much more permanent. That distinction for a moment. Anger can cool with time. Frustration can soften with distance. Even serious disagreements sometimes fade when years pass and circumstances change. change. But what happens when someone reaches a point where the decision itself feels settled? That is the possibility now being discussed by many royal analysts. For years, public attention focused heavily on Prince Harry's perspective. Interviews, documentaries, podcasts, and memoirs created a constant stream of discussion about why Prince Harry felt disappointed, misunderstood, or isolated from the institution he left behind. Yet while millions of people were examining Prince Harry's feelings, another story was quietly developing inside Kensington Palace. The story of Prince William. The story of a future king who was simultaneously managing royal responsibilities